H-Town, what it do? My name is Nick Stevenson.
And I'm Scara.
Welcome to Texans Bloodline, episode number 12. I can't believe there's only 4 games left in the season. Scared.
I know, right?
And ever since you started this, you've witnessed a couple of historical moments in this franchise, in the franchise's history, which is kind of cool.
I know they knew I was going to be here.
Yeah, they had to have. I think you witnessed the second biggest comeback against the Jaguars when they were down 29-10 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
You witnessed the first time they've won in Baltimore, which is awesome.
Yes.
All of those things being said, you know, I haven't gotten a chance to really catch you up on past history of some of these rivalries. I try to, but the Kansas City Chiefs have been a thorn in the side of the Houston Texans for a very long time. And it all started back in, I don't want to say it started in 2019. 2019 is when it just got really painful. So as you know, the Houston Texans, they've never been to the Super Bowl. They've never been to the AFC Championship game. And they have lost to the Chiefs in the playoffs 3 times in the playoffs in the last few times that the Texans have gone to the playoffs.
Ouch.
Last year, they lost to the Chiefs, which did not allow them to go to the AFC Championship game. I was actually watching a highlight of 2019. 2019 is when it started. When I tell you that the Kansas City Chiefs were not a dynasty yet in 2019, they became a dynasty on the backs of our Houston Texans. The Houston Texans had a chance to win one game to go to the AFC Championship game. They were up 21-0 in that game. At one point, they were up 24-3. When I tell you that Houstonians were celebrating in the streets already, we're like, this is it. We're going to the AFC Championship game.
That's where they went wrong.
That's exactly where they went wrong, because the Kansas City Chiefs erased that deficit in about a quarter.
Oh,
and
goodness.
The Texans ended up losing that game by double digits. It ended up being a blowout.
I kind of want to watch that game now.
I was just watching the highlights. Actually, it's such an important game in NFL history. On YouTube, you can watch the entire game. It's crazy. Ever since then, the Chiefs became a dynasty. They won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. They've been to the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row. I think this was either 6 or 7 years in a row. The season has always ended with them either winning the Super Bowl or losing in the AFC Championship game. They're a dynasty. You know, you add the celebrity of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and Patrick Mahomes, possibly the greatest quarterback of all time. I've heard a lot of people say that Sunday was the biggest win in franchise history. I disagree with that. We've had some big wins. Obviously, we had a third-string quarterback that won the game that helped the Texans win the division and go to the playoffs for the first time ever. That was pretty big. We've had some big regular season games. I would say historically and emotionally, this was probably the most significant game. And this has been the best 5-week stretch in Houston Texans history. I can tell you that. So what a time for you to be a Texans fan. Once again, you've gone through all of the emotions.
All of them.
You've gone through all of them. And I just think, man, it's really cool. I'm so glad that the Texans are 8-5. They've got a really wide path to the playoffs now. And so as long as they handle their business and do what they got to do, you're witnessing one of the best stretches in Houston Texans football history. And I bet when they started off 0-3, neither of us thought we were going to say that.
No, sure weren't thinking we were sitting here having this discussion.
Not at all. So now that I've given you a little bit of background, and I can't even fully express it to you. I'll try my best. I'm talking.
I feel like I understand the
Okay.
weight of this
for sure.
game.
Not only did they lose to the Chiefs last season, but I forgot to mention this. In the regular season, played the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They were winning, and then Tank Dell, which I don't even know if you're totally familiar with him because he hasn't played all season. He's a wide receiver that went to the University of Houston. On draft day, he texted CJ Stroud. He said, hey, tell the Texans to bring me to Houston and let's do this thing. And so him and CJ are really, really good friends. He breaks his leg in that game. I mean, destroys his leg in that game. He's carted
Oh
off the
no.
field. Yeah, and CJ Stroud is in tears, literally streaming down his face while he's watching his friend pretty much snap his leg in half.
Oh my
Aziz Al
gosh.
Shayer hurt himself in the playoff game. He was in tears, not only because of being hurt, but just because of the weight of the loss. This team believes they can go places that this franchise has never gone before. And so when you start out 0-3, you get to this game and you win it. Aziz Al Shayer in the post game was very emotional again. It's just it's more some wins are more than a win. So that's the best I can try to explain it to you. Now that I've tried to get you to understand some of that weight, how are you feeling about this team?
I'm well, obviously more optimistic and I've been a fan now for a few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
I would say, but it was really an exciting game, and I know we talked about last week, we talked about, like, the importance of this game
Mm-hmm.
and how that will contribute to whether or not we go off to the playoffs, so,
Yeah,
um, seeing that win was just like, "Oh, yay, we get more."
for sure. And like I can't it's probably hard for me to explain to you how great of a quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been. I mean, like I said, in that one game where the Texans were up 24-3, I think the Texans were losing by halftime. Like they were up 21-0 in the first quarter, at one point 24-3 in the second. And I think they came back. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is an amazing quarterback, and he looked terrible against this defense. He
I could
completed
see the Um, I could see why he was considered that or he is considered that,
mhm.
even though our defense was, like, on point.
Yeah, because he
But
still had
I
moments.
yeah, but I could see, a lot of the, like, I guess, skill set
Mhm.
that, sometimes we're lacking,
Right.
uh, in both CJ and when Mills was up, so
Right. Yeah, no, 100%. First of all, his escapability is incredible.
Mm.
And, Aziz Al Shayer is known as a vicious tackler. And I don't know if you saw this play, but Aziz came to try to tackle him. And Patrick Mahomes isn't that big of a dude. And Aziz just bounces off of him. And Mahomes almost gets a first down. Like, he's just, you know, this is another point of contention for Texans fans because the Texans possibly could have drafted Patrick Mahomes. The word on the street was that they liked Patrick Mahomes over the quarterback they did draft that year, which was Deshaun Watson. That is a whole other layer that we'll have to get into in the offseason. That way, I think in the offseason, we can probably build up some more history. That way, you start to understand the weight of some of these things. And he went to Texas Tech, so he's a local guy, kind of.
Mm.
So he's just been a thorn in our side. And the whole time has been like, man, maybe we could have had him. He's turns out to be the greatest. We thought the quarterback we drafted was going to be in that conversation. And then he started doing some stuff off the field that ruined
Oh,
his entire career. So,
lovely.
like so many demons exercised in this game. Like I was starting to get emotional when they finally, like I was going to wait until the clock was at zeros though, because with this team, anything can happen. Patrick
But
Mahomes won a game where he was down a touchdown, and they only had 13 seconds on the clock. He came back, tied the game, and then they won in overtime. Like this team's never dead. So the fact that the Texans beat that team, uh, I can't even put it into words.
I mean, CJ was rocking it. He I don't know what clicked, but it felt like it clicked to
Yeah,
um yeah. I mean,
he
he was
had
missing
he had
a
one
lot
bad
of
quarter.
I was gonna say he was missing some throws, which
Mhm.
is usually what you can count on him for,
Right?
uh, especially a few important ones.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's the frustrating part about watching him this season. Is he'll miss a wide open Xavier Hutchinson, and I'm talking about nobody within 10 feet of him, and he sails
Yes,
the ball over his head.
to my boy.
Right, to your guy. And then he's running to his right, and he's right-handed, so that's the direction if you're going to scramble, you want to go that way. But he's running out of bounds. He throws an absolute dart in between three defenders to hit Jaden Higgins on a very, very crucial third down. And when you see that throw, you're like, bro, like Nobody can make that throw, and you just made it. But like
Like,
the
they're
wide,
really professional to their own players, right? Because if I were Hutchinson in that moment, I'd be like, "Dude, I was right here. Hello." Like
yeah, like, and I feel like there were moments where it seemed CJ was still maybe shaking off a little bit of rust because in that throw that he missed Xavier Hutchinson, by the time he let the ball go, there was pressure in his face. But you talk about this all the time. If he'd have thrown it a split second faster, his feet would have been set. Nobody was in his face. And it would have been a very, very important third down conversion because I think it was like 3rd and 16. Because that's another thing that I don't want to be negative. It's a positive show. But this Texans offense does not deserve this Texans defense right now. They've got to be better.
but
Um,
we need our shirts to say, "Let go of the ball."
yes, 100%. Okay.
That's all he has to do. Let go of the ball.
I want to ask you about, because I believe this happened in the third quarter. It was either late in the third quarter or at the beginning of the fourth.
And the reason you're asking, Nick, right, for our audience is because the way I was able to watch the game is
Uh
I
huh.
was able to watch through the third quarter and
Okay.
then the whatchamacallit
That's what I couldn't remember
streaming.
how far you got. So third quarter.
I got through the third quarter and
Okay.
then it shut down and I was very frustrated that I could not find it anywhere to watch the last little bit.
So
I
the
just got
third
the highlights.
quarter is the only quarter the Chiefs scored in. And
Yes.
actually, like, that's like the one that CJ Stroud was, I'm not going to say worrying me, but like they
I got
weren't
worried.
they weren't doing anything in the third
That's
quarter after he had a brilliant first half. Like his first and
mhm.
second quarter I thought were amazing. And so I'm pretty sure this did happen in the fourth quarter then. I'll ask you about it. So the Chiefs are still on their side of the field and they have a fourth and I think like 3 and 4. And Andy Reid, instead of punting the football away and trusting his defense, which had been shutting down the Texans the entire night, he decided to go for it on fourth down against the number one defense in the NFL, a defense that had not been allowing them to do anything either. He goes for it. They don't get it. Now all of a sudden the Texans are already on the 31-yard line. And that's how they score their touchdown that puts them ahead. That would end up putting them ahead for good.
I
And I
did see
think,
that play, yeah.
okay, so I think explaining this will give you a good picture of how certain coaches, their mindsets are different. Um, Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Obviously, he was a great coach before he got to Kansas City, but what he turned this Kansas City team into, like I said, being a dynasty, a lot of the credit has to go to him. That was a bad call by him,
Mhm.
but it's not a surprising call because Andy Reid is an offensive coach. Before he became a head coach, he was an offensive coordinator. He's an offensive mind. So the way he feels like he's got to win the game, I've got to keep my offense. I've got to keep the greatest quarterback of all time, probably the greatest tight end of all time. I've got to keep them on the field so we can go win this game.
Mm.
D'Amico Ryans being a defensive minded head coach, in that situation, he is 100% punting the ball and saying, you know what? My defense can stop them. We'll get the ball back. And that's really just the kind of the philosophical difference between these two coaches. And you'll notice different teams have different type of philosophies. But Andy Reid, rightfully so, I think, was getting killed in the media for making that decision. Because once again, the Texans offense hadn't done anything
Mm.
all the way up to that point. And then they get the ball back. I mean, they could have just kicked the field goal. They end up scoring a touchdown. And from that point, with this defense, the way that they were playing, it was pretty much a done deal. You're like, the Chiefs aren't going to win this game. And it didn't.
Was that the touchdown where, um, I don't know how to say his name, but starts with an O, basically, like, fell into the end zone? Was that one?
It starts with an O.
It's like,
I'm trying to remember who
OG.
scored. Oh, Agumbawale.
Yes.
Yes, that touchdown. Yes,
Or
that play led to that touchdown by Dario Agumbawale.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, 'cause I just I watched that part
okay,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
highlights, like, again and again. He's just like, "Boop, I'm just gonna fall into the end zone. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys."
Oh, the significance of Dari being in the game is Nick Chubb got hurt in the
Mhm.
fourth quarter. I believe he hurt his rib. So Woody Marks was running every running play. And Woody Marks
Right.
is tough as nails, but he's not the biggest running back. And I mean, he was getting clobbered, and you could tell that, like, you could tell. So he got hit right before the play where Dari would not have been in the game. But if you have what they call an injury timeout, like he's slow to get up, they make you come off the field for at least one
Ah,
play. So that's the only
so you
reason
don't just
Dari,
use it.
right. That is the only reason Dari was in there. He carried the ball one time in this game, and it was the biggest play of the game because he scored the touchdown that put them ahead. Um,
Yeah, and
it's
they were talking about how he like, that was, like, the 8th time he had even touched the ball all
yeah,
season.
Dari's the same guy who fumbled the ball away in the first game of the season
Oh, that's right, that's right.
that we could have, and he had one more fumble, I think. And even though he's a captain on this team, it's more of like an emotional thing because Dari is a very, like, the team loves him. I think I mentioned to you 2 seasons ago, Fairbairn got hurt, and Dari ended up being the kicker
That's right, yeah, you were
because he
telling me
used to
about
play
that.
soccer, and he made a huge field goal in that game. So uh, there's so many like poetic moments that happen in this game. Like Dari's the guy who scores the touchdown to go ahead.
Mhm.
The only thing that could have made it better is if, like, at halftime, Tank Dell ran out of the tunnel and nobody knew he was coming back. That would have been like a perfect like movie moment. But
Is he still on the team? Just haven't
yeah,
seen him?
he's just I don't even I think they said right now he's able to run. When I
Mm.
say he pretty much broke his leg in half.
Oh,
And so he had a very, very, not only that, but injured his knee, like tore multiple ligaments. It was a bad injury. Um so he's more than likely not going to be back this season, although they've said he's progressing faster than anticipated. But no, Tank Dell was like one of those heart and soul guys on the team. Very, very fast. He was a small receiver. He's kind of I feel like they drafted Jalen Knoll to kind of fill in that void. That's kind of what
mm.
he did. He returned punts, returned kickoffs sometimes. And him and CJ were like super tight. And so I don't know, man. I'm just, for me,
Noel
this,
had a good game.
yeah, Noel, please give him the ball. Give Hutchinson the ball. I don't want to complain about this offense on this celebratory episode, but the offense has got to be better. And the good news is they've all said as much. CJ's like, hey man, we got to help our defense out.
Hmm.
This is what I don't want to happen though. I need them to realize, like, this is your identity. Maybe you're just a team who scores 20, 21 points and lets your defense win the game. I'm cool with that because the one thing CJ did not do that was very important, he didn't turn the ball over. No
Mm.
interceptions, no fumbles, and he converted on third down. Maybe CJ Stroud is not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Maybe he's going to be more of a game manager, which that's kind of like a bad word to a lot of quarterbacks. Like, if you call them a game manager, they think that means they're not any good. I don't think that. I feel like Tom Brady was a game manager. He was like one of the greatest game managers of all time. Um,
If
but
you
he
manage
just,
it well, then
yeah, just take care of the ball, trust your defense. Don't try to go for the home run play every time. Take what the defense gives you. And I feel like that's what he did in this game. And like I said, other than the third quarter, which at least he didn't turn the ball over, so that was huge. Um,
yeah, that was what was there was one time, that it was definitely the Chiefs' ball and was thrown to one of their players, but then I think it was Noel, I'm not positive. There's, like, some weird fumble, and then he, like, turned around and then caught it.
oh, that was Jalen Petrie.
Oh,
So
that's Peachy.
yeah,
Peachy, that's right.
Petrie's interception, which was a heck of a play, because not only
It
did
was
he
so
tip the
funny.
ball up in the air, but then he turned around and caught it. And man, this defense is so good. Like, I wish this is your first year watching football. Like, so it'd be hard to quantify. Like, this is just one of the best defenses I've ever seen. The fact that I don't remember the last time they gave up 20 points.
Mm.
I know they gave up 20 like once. Maybe it was the first game of the season. And maybe they gave up 20 to Jacksonville, but like, I mean,
But
They're
we
only
had also it was close. Remember, we were talking about how those first 3 losses,
mhm,
even though they were losses, they were, like, within a touchdown
yeah.
or something
The
like that.
biggest loss they've suffered is 8 points to
Right.
the Seahawks. So,
Which
I mean, we're talking about, and I don't know, you remember the first 3 games of the season after they got rid of CJ Gardner-Johnson, we were talking about how it was pretty much his fault they lost those games because of
mm,
just 1 or 2 busted plays. And so
who
that's
is
just
he?
right. No, he's
No, like,
the
I'm asking 'cause
no,
I
no, no.
don't know.
Remember, they signed him in the offseason as a safety, and he was like one of their biggest
Okay.
offseason signings. And then 3 games into the season, D'Amico cuts him, and everybody's like, oh. And then they find out like he was really just kind of becoming a cancer in the locker room. And then you go back and you watch some of the big plays that this defense had given up, and it was his fault not being in the
Mm.
place that he needed to be. And
And
so,
I remember that I remember all that drama.
yeah,
But so he was a safety,
yes.
and a safety protects CJ.
No, 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 no. The safety's on defense. So you've got
Okay.
no, it's okay. You've got your
These are the
defensive
things I
line.
need to know.
Yeah, yeah, you've got your defensive line.
Yes,
Obviously, their job is to get to the quarterback, stop the
the
run.
literal line,
Yeah.
right?
Then you've got your linebackers. Those are the
Okay.
guys who control the middle of the field, and they're
The one that,
supposed
like,
to
moves a lot before the snap?
right. Aziz
Okay,
Al-Shaair is the middle linebacker. Then you've got
okay,
Henry To'oTo'o. He's a outside linebacker. And then EJ Speed has been playing most of the other side. Then you've got your cornerbacks, which is Lassiter and Stingley Jr., who I know we haven't talked about Stingley Jr., but that's because nobody throws towards his guy anymore. Like he hasn't allowed a catch in 3 games. It's crazy. Like he's insane.
we
And
haven't
then
talked about him, but I have recognized that he's done some really good stuff.
yeah, I mean he's not he hasn't gotten an interception in a while, and I guess that's the big flashy stat, right? But it's because nobody throws to his guy. Like his guy's never open.
Mm.
And then behind them, the very last line of defense is your safeties. So your safeties basically,
Are there 2?
yes, some
Okay,
formations there can be 3, but in
okay,
most of them there's going to be 2. Sometimes one of those safeties will sneak down and kind of play inside what they call the box
right,
because safeties can also be responsible for stopping the run
okay.
or blitzing the quarterback sometimes. So yeah, your safety, you have a free safety. He's kind of like your center fielder out there. He's the one who's kind of in control of making sure the ball doesn't go over your head. Then you've got your strong safety. Your strong safety a lot of times will come and play the run as well. But sometimes their job is to help. If there's a really good receiver and you think you have a mismatch against one of your corners, then that safety will kind of hover over to that side to kind of give that guy help just in case he gets beat, type of thing. So
I keep trying to pay more attention to the defense when we're defending,
yeah.
but one, I mean, thankfully we're not on defense as often, which is
Yeah.
great, but also it just I can't not watch the ball,
Right.
which means I'm not watching what they're doing.
No, no, no. 100%. The most impressive thing that just jumps out no matter what is people don't run the ball on this team. And Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. are just beasts. Because even when they don't get a sack, they're always there. I feel like they get held on almost every play, which is frustrating because I'm yelling like, throw the flag, throw the flag. But if they threw a flag every time Will Anderson Jr. got held, there'd be a flag on every play. So I guess the team figures like they can't call all of them. So we're just going to hold him because, I mean, he is an absolute beast. Um,
I did
so,
notice that Mahomes did run a couple times, right?
mhm.
At least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
actually
had
had some
one
big
real good
ones.
one.
I mean, that was pretty much their only running game was him. And I think if there is what we would call a weakness on this Texans defense is mobile quarterbacks are able to get loose and get yardage on them. But I mean, Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest to do it. Josh Allen of the Bills, also one of the greatest to do it. They did a really good job keeping him in check. Trevor Lawrence is a good running quarterback. Baker Mayfield is the one that Henry To'oTo'o was a shoestring away from ending the game, and we would have won that game against the Bucks. That's been the one kind of thorn in their side is if they do have a mobile quarterback, making sure that he doesn't get loose. If there's one weakness that I'd say they have, and they've gotten better as the season has gone on, that'll be one
I
of them. But I mean,
I think like they should have paid attention because Mahomes seems to be pretty fast. Like
yes, he's very, very
he
mobile.
he was like zoom.
But you got to keep in mind, so if you can put a spy on the quarterback. That's a guy who just his job is to stand there and watch what the quarterback does. You can do that, but that means you're probably going to have some type of disadvantage because if he's spying the quarterback, that means there's a certain level of the field he's not covering. And
Mhm.
so it's one of those football is probably more of a chess match than even me as a like I'm just a casual fan. I'm not sitting there pretending to be a football expert. Um, there's a lot of intricacies to it. And then not only do you can spy him, but he's still really fast. Like, are you able to catch him? That's a whole other thing. So it's having a game plan and then executing it. But overall, the Texans had an amazing game plan. That's the worst game that Patrick Mahomes has had in his entire career. And that's the second MVP quarterback we've said that about in the last 4 weeks. So I can't complain. I just need the offense to do more, please. You don't even have to score more, just like because they're already good on time of possession. Just CJ, I need you to hit your wide open receivers, man. I'll say
Mhm.
it out loud. Just hit your wide open guys. That is
Especially if Hutchinson is alone in the middle of the field.
exactly. I mean, that is really. I'm gonna give you a pass on everything else. I know sometimes you take a sack because you're holding on to the ball because you want to make that big play, and then it's not there. I'm able to live with that if this offense can stop having dumb procedural penalties. The what is it? The illegal motion and the illegal formation, that is driving me nuts. And I don't know exactly. I'm going to pass equal blame to CJ Stroud, who you are the conductor of this entire thing when you're on the field. If you see your tight end is out of position, I've seen Tom Brady do it 1,000 times. Yell at your tight end, excuse me. Hey man, move.
I mean, that
Or
should be like one of the few things that just doesn't happen,
yeah, at
along
least
with the grabbing of the helmet.
yeah, that part because they got a face mask on Mahomes. That part, just from the few times that I've played football, that's a little bit harder because you're just trying to grab a hold of anything. And the thing is if you touch the face mask, they're not going to make a call. But if even for like a split second, you grab and you're like, oops, that's face mask, and you let it go, they're going to call it. So, but the ones that are egregious are the ones where you're like pulling a guy's head around. Yeah, let's get rid of those. Um, and Nick
Let
Cayley's
go
got
of
to
the
be,
ball.
yeah, Nick Cayley's got to be part of the blame too. Um, because in this deep into the season, you shouldn't be having illegal motions, illegal
Mm.
procedures. I think one of them they had offsides on the offense because Ariante Ursery was lined up in the neutral zone, which the neutral zone is whatever space is covered by the ball all the way to both ends of the field. So you cannot
Okay.
be in that zone. A finger, a helmet, nothing. That's got to be clear. The only person who's allowed to be in that zone is the center because he's snapping the ball. Those are
I
just
did wonder
silly.
about that offsides because I was like, how did that work? Because I guess offsides in soccer is quite different.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, he had a hand in the neutral zone. That was
got
when
it.
they were trying to do that tush push, which I wish they would just
Just
scrap that altogether.
I just like the name of it.
Yeah, you're right. So the the Eagles really kind of started. It's more of like a rugby play. They just pile like they get really close to the line, really close to the ball, and you have two fullbacks in the back, and they're having Cade Stover receive the ball, and as soon as he gets it, he just goes forward, and the two fullbacks just push his butt as far as they can, and they're doing it in those short yardage situations. But I wish they would just trust Woody Marks. And I don't think it's that they don't trust Woody Marks. I think they don't trust the offensive line right now to blow the defensive line back because there's still some deficiencies in this offense. Here's the good news, Scara. About to play the Cardinals. The Cardinals are like 1-15 in their last are 5-15 in their last 20 games. They're an awful team. The one thing
But
that
should
I
you be saying that? And like, I mean,
it is my superstitious year. I will knock. And that's what I was going to say. Every single one of their losses, though, if you go look at them, they've all been close games. It's been similar to the beginning of the
mm,
Texans season, all one-score games. They almost beat the Colts. They almost beat the Jags. And so I don't want this team to overlook them at all. That would be a huge mistake. But what I hope is you have this game versus the Cardinals. The next game is versus the Raiders. Both of those teams are terrible. They are traditionally what we call trap games. You're looking ahead like, oh, this is going to be easy. We have to play the Colts at the end of the season. We have to play the Chargers.
But then you're not focused
And then
on.
you're not focused on, and then you get caught.
Mm-hmm.
And that has happened to probably every football team at one point or another. But it just feels like to me it happens more to the Texans than anybody else because I'm a Texans fan. So here's the good news though. Kamari Lassiter, he went on a podcast. It's called Speak Easy. The host is Emmanuel Acho. He used to play for the University of Texas as a linebacker. He said, "Hey man, you guys finally beat the Chiefs. Like, does this feel like a turning of the page for you guys?" And he said, "No." He said, "I'm about to go watch film right now and figure out everything that we did wrong that we could have done better." He's like, "For us, like we're not done." And to me, I'm like, that's D'Amico Ryans. That is 100% a reflection of your coach and his leadership, because it'd have been easy for them to be like, "Oh man, we just beat, the AFC champs." But I mean, to them, they're just Daniil Hunter has a saying. You might have heard it a couple times in their post game. He just says, "Keep chopping wood." And I've heard other teammates repeat that. Just keep chopping wood. Just keep chopping wood. So I feel like they have the perfect mentality going into these next two games. Of course, those are defensive players. I need the offense to take these two games
and practice.
win the game. But like, to me, I feel like you have a little bit of margin for error because of how bad they are. So like, just kind of throw caution to the wind and let's throw the ball around. Let's put 4 wide receivers out there and let's just see who can get open. I don't know. Yes, they need to practice.
Let go of the ball, CJ.
Yes. Give it to Hutchinson. Give the ball to Noel, like the guys who make plays. You don't have to force it to Nico. Nico had a great game. Nico's having a great season. Nico is putting himself in the conversation as one of the best receivers this team has ever had. And this team has had a couple of really, really good ones. We put one in the Hall of Fame just last year. So
that's fine, but he's not the only player.
He's not.
And when Hutchinson gets the ball, he does good things.
100%. He gets wide open too.
Me a jersey.
He gets wide open.
Literal.
Wide open.
Like no one else was there.
And that's not the first time too. CJ did that in the last game, and it was Hutchinson. I mean,
he needs to, like, I think you just mentioned a little bit ago, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, stop looking only for the big plays. A little play will get you some progress.
Yeah.
And if you're only looking for the big plays, then you're going to miss the ones that you could have,
100%
inched up there maybe, but gotten there.
I know they're watching film after the game. They have to know that. Like, that, and you just started watching football this season. So they have to know that.
But we're on what game number, and we're still not just letting the dang ball go.
Yeah. He's done better. He's done better. But that was one of those situations where like split second made a whole difference, right? Split second sooner.
Well, yeah, split second. But also, it's just, I feel like too many times I can see him continuing to look and look and look. And I'm like, why do you have the ball?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the cool thing about watching the All-22, if you can. Like, there have been times that I've watched that. And listen, my NFL quarterback ability goes as far as the John Madden video game would allow me to go.
It's more than mine.
Right. But you can see the dudes breaking open. And you can, sometimes you can see it during the game. It's like, he's right there. No, he's not 30 yards down the field, but he's right there. Like, just take what the defense gives you.
But he was far, like, he wasn't even right there. Like, he was not maybe halfway down the field, but he was pretty far.
And that was important because it was third down. It was like 3rd and 12, and that would have been like a 16-yard gain. And you would have continued.
If he had gotten that, he probably would have just gotten all the way.
Yeah. I mean, man, he definitely would have gotten some yards after catch, 100%. So I'm sure CJ knows this. He's watching the same film. He's watching more intense film than we're watching. And like I said, against the Cardinals, against the Raiders, I mean, we saw what they did to the to beat up Baltimore Ravens. Hung up 40 on them. I think they scored 40 on the Titans too. So that's what good teams do. Good teams beat up on bad teams. And I think I can't say going into the playoffs because if the season ended today, the Texans would be in the playoffs. But they
They
still have
would?
four. Yes. They've come
Oh, I
all the
thought
way
they were
back.
okay. I thought they were one down or one away or something.
No, they still should be the 7 seed because the Colts lost again. They're 8-5. The Colts have the
That's
same.
right.
Yeah, the
You
Colts
told
have
me
the
it had
same
to do
record.
with the other teams. That's what.
Right. So the Colts are 8-5, but we beat them in the head-to-head match. So even though we have the same record, we're going to be right now in 7th place. And
Is that the cutoff?
yes, the 7th place is the last playoff spot. And I think the Colts are done. Their quarterback got injured. He's out for the season now. We play them in the last game of the season. That game might not even mean anything anymore. By the time we get there, we'll see. Especially if
And
the Texans. What's that?
How many games do we have left?
4. We've got Phoenix, Raiders, Chargers, and then Colts.
Okay.
Realistically, they can go 3-1 in those games and probably still make the playoffs. If they win all of them, now we're probably hosting a home game for the first round of the playoffs. Because if you win all of them and Jacksonville wins all of theirs, I think we have the tiebreaker over Jacksonville.
What if we only win 2?
Still can get in if we only win 2. Let's say it's going to depend on what the other teams do in their other games. But friends, I don't think we're losing to the Colts. I think the Colts are, unfortunately, they're on a 3rd string quarterback right now. There's a lot of scenarios. It's not guaranteed. I think they have like a 70 or 80 something % chance to make the playoffs. So they still have to handle their business. But
they can still mess it up.
It could still be messed up. Yes. And to me, I know the defense is not going to be the reason why. Let's get this offense going. Put up 40 points.
How do you feel about the defense, Nick? I can't. I haven't been able to figure out.
It's great. They don't deserve this offense. They deserve better.
But we wouldn't be winning if we didn't have them. So
100%. And I want to, like I said, I want to give credit where the offense deserves the credit. Like you see the potential. Like I said, there were 5 or 6 plays that CJ made in that game. You're like, bro, that's what I'm talking about. That's why we believe that you are going to be a great, amazing quarterback. But when you can do those plays, but for some reason you're throwing the ball 10 feet over the head of a wide open guy, it's just frustrating. And then, they scored a touchdown early in that game that got called back because of a procedural penalty. If they can clean that up, everybody in the NFL media has been saying nobody wants to play the Texans because of this defense. Because this defense could carry them all the way to the Super Bowl. It really could. Like I said, all the offense got to score 20 points because the defense is not giving up 20 points.
But they also have to score.
No, 100%. They have to score. And the one thing that they are still having trouble with is scoring in the red zone, not getting penalties in the red zone. I feel like in between the 20s, they've been really good. That's where they're getting all their stats. That's why our field goal kickers making more than 2 to 3 field goals a game.
It's as long as they're far enough away, they're okay. It's like they shouldn't get too close, and then they'll be all right.
Yeah, which I'm cool with that, man. Just throw a 75-yard bomb to Nico. I don't care. Just let's put some points on the board, and I can't let this turn into a negative episode. But this is the thing. Eventually the defense has had to be perfect in every game, and they have been. But the defense is not going to be perfect in every game. At some point, this offense is going to have to be able to look across and say, hey, guys, we got you this time. And that's what you hope. Once again, Phoenix, Las Vegas, get it right.
And it's not negative to say we recognize what you're capable of. We're
Absolutely.
frustrated because we recognize what you're capable of.
Yes. That is the perfect way of saying it. Perfect way of putting it together. And so, with that being said, I think that's going to do it for episode 12 of Texans Bloodline.
You got this, CJ.
You got it. You got this.
And
Stay
Hutchins will give me a
healthy.
jersey.
Stay healthy. Yes. Let's talk about that for a second, because I met a young man. He was an older gentleman, but I'm being kind. An older gentleman yesterday while I was printing out flyers for our watch party, which I'll get to in a minute. I'd like to invite everybody to show up to that if you're able to.
And I'm working on being there.
Oh, sweet.
I'm working on child coverage.
Sweet. That would be
I know.
amazing. That would be amazing.
I'm really hoping I can make it work.
That would be amazing. Okay. Now I got excited and almost lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
As I was printing out the flyers, I'm at Office Depot, and a guy says, "Hey, are you guys throwing some kind of party?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I'm a season ticket holder." He's like, "Let me show you this picture." And they had some fan event, and guess who he was taking a picture with?
My boy.
Xavier Hutchinson. I was like, oh my goodness, my co-host would freak out. I was like, she loves Xavier Hutchinson. He's like, oh yeah, he's a really good kid. And I was like, man. So I actually exchanged information with him. He's going to be at the game because he's a season ticket holder. So I was like, well, the next time, right? So I was like, okay, the next time the Texans have a road game and we're doing a watch party, like, you got to come. And I told him, I'm like, we're going to make a pitch to Xavier on trying to get my girl a jersey. I know you brought him up in one of our other episodes. We should make like a collage. So right now,
yes,
I hate to put you on the spot, but I need you to make your pitch to Xavier Hutchinson, who you are and why you deserve a jersey from him.
Okay.
And why you want one. That's important.
Well, Xavier, my name's Scara. You don't know me, but you should. And if you haven't listened to Texans Bloodline, you should. And I am your future ex-wife, because you're my future ex-husband. And I recognize, so I did research before we started this podcast. If you haven't listened, it's because I knew very, very little about football. I've watched some games, but I didn't understand anything that was like going on. And so Nick and I have been watching the Texans for this season so that I could learn football and become a Texans fan. And I recognized right away, for whatever reason, I knew that you were the player that I wanted to root for. And you have done nothing but prove me right, which of course I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you're going to go super far. And so I want a jersey of yours from this season. You could have worn it first and don't watch it. But I'm rooting for you. I think you're the best player on the Texans. Don't tell anybody else. Don't tell Anderson, because he's kind of my number 2. But
yeah.
But that's why I think you should gift me with your sweaty jersey.
And listen, Xavier, if you are listening, when I say A1 from day one, we hadn't watched any football yet. And I asked her for a list of players she was looking forward to seeing. And you were, I believe, the first one.
I still have the notes. I can go find them.
I'm pretty sure you were the first one. You were among that list, though. And
well, there's only a few. So
yeah, for sure. But I mean, she knew that you went to Iowa State. Like, she had everything on lock, bro. So yeah, that would be amazing. Future ex-wife. She will sign a prenup. We'll put that. We'll sign a prenup if that's where.
We'll sign it now. Just don't tell my husband.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was really cool. Texans fans are excited. The guy I ran into at Office Depot, he's like, "Do you have this?" And it was his bank card had Texans all over it. I was like, "I do not have that, but sounds pretty cool." He said,
a special edition that only he can have.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those clinkety clink ones. It wasn't plastic. It was a nice card. He said they get discounts at the Texan store at the stadium with it too, and other like cash back and stuff. I'm like, I could use one of those, but the problem is I would use one of those. So yeah, I think the city is really excited, and that's what's got me excited for you, Scara, is now, man, if you could come to this watch party, That'd be amazing. Like just to get around other Texans fans who are excited, who are pumped. Um, it's going to be. Here's the thing. The good news is we're not talking about next year. Right now, like we're going to be very optimistic and very hopeful going all the way into the last game of the season. And the Texans have a really good chance to make the
I'm
playoffs.
excited.
I'm super excited too. Guys, speaking of watch party, let me share this with you really quick. Myself and my buddy Ja'Cory Morris, and hopefully now Scara, will be at Texas Huddle Grill and Sports Bar. That is 803 East NASA Parkway in Webster, Texas. They're going to have plenty of game day specials. You can see them right there. $4 talls, $3 pints, $18 buckets, $5 tall beverages, $3 shots, $2 fireball, $3
That's some good
seltzers.
prices.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're trying to get as many people out there as possible, and sometimes you got to bribe them with booze. And then we'll be doing the normal games, prizes, and giveaways. The really cool thing about this, though, is there's also going to be a winter coat drive. That is going to be hosted by the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Inc., the Tau Zeta Omega chapter. Strengthen our sisterhood and uplift our local communities are all getting together to do a coat drive on that day. We'll be out on the balcony. The patio if the weather is good. If it's not, we'll be inside. But to be able to combine the Texans watch party, Texans Bloodline, doing something for charity, decent price booze, you can't go wrong. Like,
Nope.
So I'm really looking forward to it. We'll be doing a live stream from there. I'll be doing play-by-play, and my man Corey will be helping out with all the socials. We cannot show the game. Every live stream we do, people are like, show the game. We can't do it. That's
illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal. They won't. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, any of them will notify immediately that we're live streaming the game, and it'll shut the whole thing down. And that's what we don't want to happen. What we'd like to do, Scara, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to listen to any of the local play-by-play by Mark Vandermeer, but sometimes Texans fans, the really diehards, I've noticed they don't like to listen to the TV broadcast because they feel like the TV broadcast is not pulling for the Texans, which they're not. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to be neutral. So sometimes they want to hear somebody who they know is pulling for the Texans. Mark Vandermeer is one of the best ever. I'm not even going to compare myself to him, but a lot of people have enjoyed listening to my play-by-play because it's clear if you listen who I want to win. I'll just put it to you that way. So we'll be doing that as well. Music, games, fun, doing something good for the community. You can't go wrong there. So you guys, make sure you guys come out there. That's for the Cardinals game on Sunday, the 14th. The doors will open at 11. Kickoff, is at noon. And we'll probably be out there until about 3:30 or 4. I'm off that day, so I might just hang out as long as it's jumping over there. Who knows?
You're going to get a bucket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Scara, I'm so excited to hear you might be there. That is the best news. Do you have any other questions about either this game or what's coming up in the season?
No, you covered it.
Covered a lot.
An excellent job.
Yeah, I feel like we covered a lot. There's nothing special about our history with the Cardinals. I wish I could tell you, oh, there's some significance, but they're an NFC team.
Fine.
Yeah.
We can't do that with every team.
J.J. Watt played for them when he left the Texans. That's about it.
He's pretty.
Yeah. Oh, and every game he's called for the Texans, they won. I don't know if you've noticed that. Every time he's been on the call, they've won.
I haven't.
So we need to get him on our playoff games. Yes, we need to get him on our playoff games. But we got to get there first. All right, guys. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching Texans Bloodline. Please follow Scara at Bad Teacher Tales on YouTube and on TikTok.
Yes.
And really quick, for those who are listening for the first time, let them know why they need to follow you at Bad Teacher Tales.
Bad Teacher Tales is now a video podcast. I do have 3 seasons of audio only where I collect teacher stories and I tell them anonymously. So me and my co-host get to chat about what happens in education, like the real gritty stuff, and entertain you a little bit.
Awesome. You know, I think I've told you this before. My oldest daughter is a para teacher, and I'm trying to get her onto your show. Like, you need to listen to this and you need to submit some of these stories that you come home and tell us anonymously.
I would love to hear from a para. I know she has stories.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys go check that out. I'll make sure I put links to her stuff in the description. And then once again, you're probably watching this at Houston Sports State of the Union. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell. I have other content on this channel as well. Besides Texans Bloodline, we have Twin Toros podcast, Houston Sports State of the Union. I try to put out a few press briefings at least twice a week. And yeah, follow me on all the socials. I'll put my link in the description as well. I look forward.
Subscribe button. It is free for you. Doesn't cost you anything, but it's valuable to us.
100%. Subscribe to Houston Sports State of the Union and to Bad Teacher Tales. You won't. I will tell you this. You will not be disappointed on either one of them. Scara and I are putting in the work to give you guys the content that you love and the content that you're looking for. Scara, it would be really cool to do this show live right after the game at Texas
That
Huddle.
would be fun.
I will have my daughter watch your kids. If you can't find anyone else, bring the kiddos. I got babysitters. Yeah, we should make that happen. That would be really cool. And honestly, I'd love to introduce you to Corey. He's a great guy too. Shout out to him. He does so much work for these watch parties, and we're just doing it for the love of it. Right now, nobody's getting paid a stupid amount. We're just doing it because we love this team and we love talking about it and we love putting out content for you guys. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. Once again, subscribe to both Bad Teacher Tales and to Houston Sports State of the Union. Make sure you put Texas Bloodline on your favorites list, though. Don't tell my other co-hosts that I said that. But yeah, put Texans Bloodline on your favorites. And in the meantime, we're going to see you later. Stay 10 toes down for the H. We love you.